I'm from the library, and today we're going to talk about slime. So did you know that you can make slime at home? It's really fun. You're just going to need a few basic ingredients, but make sure you ask your parents' permission first before we get started. It's also a really good idea to wear some old clothes and to use materials that nobody really needs to eat out of, such as an old bowl. So you're going to need, first off, a bowl to mix in, and then you're going to need some glue. So you can either use clear glue or white glue, just basic craft glue works just fine. And then you're going to need something we call an activator. So when we make slime, we're actually creating something called a polymer chain. So it's kind of like a plastic. We're doing chemistry when we make slime. So we're activating the molecules in the glue with our special activator ingredient. And that ingredient is going to mix with these molecules and form really long chains. And that's how you get the long, goopy texture of the slime. So you can either use laundry detergent. This is just some Free and Gentle. It's supposed to be hypoallergenic, so it won't hurt your hands. Or two ingredients together, contact lens solution and baking soda. So both liquid detergent and contact solution have something in it called a borate. So borate is a type of boron molecule. Boron is an element, so it's a basic building block that makes up a lot of different chemicals. So we can put it in our eyes with our contact solution, or we can use it to make our clothes clean. So if you want to find out more about slime and how to make it, there's a really great book on Hoopla that you can use. I have the paper copy here, and it's called Ultimate Slime. And this is actually written by a teenager who has her very own YouTube channel. And her name is Alyssa Jagan. And her YouTube video is called Crafty Slime Creator. So if you want to learn more about slime, you can check out her book. There's lots of really cool recipes in here. Or you can check out her YouTube channel. The last thing we're going to need is something fun to add to our slime. So you can add some texture. You can put like pom-poms in it, or some polymer beads or something like that to make it kind of rough. You can put food coloring in it to make it different colors. Today I'm going to put glitter in mine. So we're going to need a bowl, like I said before. We're going to need a measuring cup and some measuring spoons. So let's get started. So the recipe in my book calls for 1 cup of glue. So I'm going to measure that out. I've got my liquid measure here, and I'm going to measure to this line, this 1 cup line. And make sure you're using supplies that your parents are okay with having glue in them. I'm just going to throw this in the dishwasher when I'm done. Okay, so I've got 1 cup of glue here. I'm going to pour that in my bowl. And the next ingredient I need is my laundry detergent. So it says I need 4 to 6 tablespoons. So I'm just going to measure 2 tablespoons at a time. So 1, 2. Let's move stuff out of the way so I don't accidentally spill anything. And then we're going to mix. So you can use a wooden spoon or another kind of spoon to kind of mix everything together, but I'm just going to use my hands, and I took all my rings and all my jewelry off, so I'm not going to get them all sticky and slimy. So I'm just going to mix it with my hands. And you'll notice it's already starting to glop together. So you don't need very much activator at all to get started. But you'll notice it's starting to stick to itself a little bit, but it's still really sticking to my hands. So I'm just going to add another little bit of activator. So I've been counting, that's 4 tablespoons. I'm just gonna mix and mix and mix. So I mixed up my slime, and I just wanted to let you know it takes a fairly long time to mix. And you might notice, if you notice it kind of falling apart in like chunks, that just means you need to add a little bit more glue. So I find the best way to do it is just to add a little bit of glue, mix it in. If you feel it still really sticky, you can add a tiny amount of the liquid laundry soap until you mix it and it starts to form a ball like this, and you squeeze it between your fingers and it doesn't stick to you. That's how you know it's done. So I don't know if you can tell, my light's not great here, but I did add a little bit of glitter to mine. You can also add food coloring, you can add a little bit of washable paint. If you want to make swirly slime, you can break your slime in half, color each half individually, and then kind of swirl them together. So there's lots of really cool stuff you can do with your slime. Just some important safety information. If you have younger siblings, please make sure that they don't eat it. This is not an edible slime. There are recipes for edible slime out there. I think you can use like pudding mix, but this is not one of them. So make sure this stays away from little mouths. If you want to store it, you can store it in an old Tupperware container like this, something that's airtight. You can store it in a plastic bag. It tend to kind of get hard and crusty after a while, and so when that happens, it's time to throw it out and make a new batch of slime. If you get it on your clothes or on the carpet and you can't get it out, vinegar will dissolve all this slime. So you could just pour a little bit on there, dab it with a cloth with a little bit of vinegar, and it should break apart and remove the stickiness and remove it from whatever kind of surface that it's stuck to. And I just wanted to show you one last kind of slime. This doesn't have glue or laundry detergent in it at all. This is just made with 2 ingredients, and this is called oobleck. And oobleck is made with water and cornstarch. And oobleck is kind of like a non-Newtonian fluid. So if I hold it in my hands, you can see it's made like a tight ball, but the minute I let it go, it drips and it forms a liquid again. So this is a non-Newtonian liquid, we call this. It's kind of really fun. You can squeeze it between your fingers and it gets really solid and sticky. And then it just kind of drips down. So it's a lot of fun to make too. And it's a little bit easier to obtain. Like you don't need glue, you don't need laundry detergent. It's just 2 ingredients that you probably have in your kitchen. So cornstarch and water. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.